What's up poppin', everybody? It's Renee and I'm back with another video. So I've had people ask me like a bunch of questions because I have not posted a military related video since like February, March maybe. I'm not really sure. It's been a while, and that video was my how to practice for the ASVAB. And I use like the ASVAB for Dummies book. So if you have not seen that and you need some tips on the ASVAB, go ahead and watch it. People have been asking me like, after my ASVAB, did I get the jobs that I wanted? How many jobs that I have on like my list that I made? Have I gotten a ship date yet? Did I have issues with my recruiter? Like how do they find a better recruiter themselves? We just gonna go down the list. So I'll start by saying that I signed a 4-year contract, and that was just my choice because people say the difference between a 4-year and a 4-year and a 6-year. 6-year you rank up faster and you get paid a little bit more, but it really doesn't matter because you're gonna get paid regardless. So drop down below if you're going to be doing a 4 or 6-year so we can see like just see what's going on and put your reason why you're doing a 4 or 6 year. I'm not going in as an E1, I'm going in as an E3 or whatever. So yeah, that's that. And I'm going as an E3 because I have college credits. Well, I have a degree, excuse me, put respect on it. But yeah, I have a college degree. The job that I chose was security forces, and I chose security forces primarily because my major was criminal justice. That's what my degree is in, and so I wasn't going to choose a job that wasn't related towards my degree. And I know I can do like paralegal, and there was something else that I could have did criminal justice related, but I just went with security forces off the bat, and if I don't like it, that's why I signed up for a year. I don't know if the question was how many jobs did I qualify for with my ASVAB score, or if it was the jobs that I put on my list did I get, or like how long did I wait or something. It was something along those lines. I can't remember. But I only put one job on my list. My recruiter already know from the bat like what I wanted. I didn't want any other job besides security forces for the most part. So I stuck with that. I feel like if I would have waited on another job, because security forces is high demand, I feel like if I would have chosen another job, I probably would have been waiting even longer than I did to receive a ship date. So I will say that. So I got asked when do I ship out, and it is June 13th, and I literally just found out that I'm getting shipped out 3 days ago, I believe. So I'm really excited. I am leaving August 26th of this year. It hasn't really set in, but it took a long time. If you guys think about it, I did my ASVAB. I might have posted my ASVAB video sometime in March, but in March I definitely went to MEPS and I swore at MEPS. So I've been waiting for March, and we're in June, and I just got my ship date. So for it to be for security forces, that is kind of long. I had a friend who went security forces, literally in the same state, the town over, like a town over or so, and she got her ship date within like a month. So I was a little upset about that. I didn't want to leave this late because I did not want to spend my birthday in basic training, but it is what it is. If anybody's watching this video that's been through BMT during their birthday, how was that? Any special treatments? Any extra treatment that you didn't want? Like, let your girl know. There was a question about recruiters. So my recruiter himself, he was really great in the beginning. He stayed on me about making sure I signed up for my ASVAB, making sure I signed up to go to MEPS, making sure like, because I was working 2 jobs. Well, I'm still working 2 jobs. So he made sure like I had the time to do things that needed to be done, and he would work around my schedule to like meet me in his office and everything like that in the beginning. So once I went to MEPS, he told me it would take about 3 2-ish, 2 or 3-ish weeks until he would hear anything back, because they run your fingerprints and everything like that after MEPS, and then you have to wait until the job opens up. And so I was like, okay, cool. So a month goes by and he's like, okay, everything went through great. He was like, just gonna be hearing about, he's like, only thing I'll be here waiting to hear about is if you can get a job or not, and things like that. And so I was just like, okay, like it was fine because it's March, I'm not like too pressed about it. May comes, I'm not too pressed about it. Well, the end of May, I really started like harassing my recruiter because I'm like, okay, I go a month at a time without talking to you. I ask you every couple of weeks, have you heard anything about jobs or anything like that? And you're like, no. My recruiter, y'all, literally told me 3 weeks ago that I was number 13 on the wait list to get security forces. Number 13 on the wait list to get security forces. And then behind that told me that security forces has been like really full and it's like booked up in all the recruiting offices. So they're only giving away, like each recruiter is only giving like maybe 1 or 2 slots for security forces. So I'm like, damn, I'm about to be here till like, next year waiting on security forces like that. It really made me mad, but I was like, whatever, God's plan. So then literally my recruiter texted me like 2 days ago and was telling me that I got my ship date for August 26th. I'm skeptical because how am I number 13? You only get 2 slots a month and then I get a ship date. But hey, it's whatever. I'm not gonna question. With that being said, there was a question about like how to deal with recruiters or how to find a better recruiter if the recruiter you have isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I will say I took it upon myself to leave my college town because that's where my recruiter is, and I'm still in my college town. My lease isn't up until the beginning of August. So I took it upon myself to go back to my hometown, which is in Charleston, South Carolina, and I spoke to a recruiter there, and he told me all sorts of things that I have never heard of before that I should have already known by now. So I've been seeing YouTube videos about people doing dep calls and stuff. By the way, I have not done a dep call yet, so I'm gonna just put that out there. But there's a lot of things that recruiter was telling me that like I could do to switch over. But the only issue was I had sworn in for the first time way back when. So he was basically explaining it to me. If you have a recruiter and you have not gone to MEPS and you have not sworn in, or you have not sworn in when you went to MEPS yet, you have the option to do an easy transfer from recruiter to recruiter. Now, if you have gone to MEPS and you have sworn in, you are sworn in under that recruiter. And you're sworn into the dep program, all that good stuff. The issue becomes that basically like that recruiter has a label over your name now. So you would have to get discharged from dep and then go back to MEPS, not to do your physical or anything like that, but you have to go back to MEPS to get sworn in again under that new recruiter's name. That process, for my area, that process would only be like a month or so. But I didn't do it just because I was like, if I wait a month, I can get a job. Like I can get like a ship date for a job within a month, Now I've heard like outrageous things like getting discharged from dep and switching recruiters over. It takes like 8 months, 6 months. Like I feel like it varies from state to state how large your state is, like how many people you have in your state, and if your recruiter is like on it when it comes to handling things like that. So yeah, so if you have a sucky recruiter like I did, and you haven't sworn in the MEPS yet, or you feel like you've been waiting forever and ever and ever, and you talk to someone else and they say they have an open slot for a certain job that you know that you want, yeah, I'd say go for it. Like, especially if you've been waiting, because if I would have had to wait like another month, like if August or July, well, we're in June now, so if like July would have hit and I still didn't have a ship date, oh no, like I was not going to be dealing with that recruiter anymore, because it shouldn't take that long. One, you're not supposed to be in a debt program for more than 3 months without a job, and then you're not. Yeah, that's not acceptable. Another question that was asked was like, how do you find a different recruiter if you need to find a recruiter? You can literally go on like the airforce.com website, and there's a button, I'm not sure exactly where, but there's a button that says find a recruiter. It might be all, if you scroll all the way down, or it might be somewhere at the top or in the middle of the page. I know I've seen it multiple places on there, but you can go on there and click find a recruiter, type in your zip code, and your nearest recruiter will pop up. Now, if your nearest recruiter is a recruiter that you do not like, you have options. You don't have to go to a recruiter that's closest to you. Your recruiter just has to be in the same state as you, as far as I've been told. So you can go to a recruiter that's an hour away, that's 30 minutes away, 45 minutes, 10 minutes away. Like, it doesn't really matter as long as it's in the same state, because they do it by, they do things by region. Now, if you're like borderline a certain state, then you might be able to do it through another recruiter, like in a separate state. But you would have to ask, because I'm not really sure when it comes to things like that. But you can literally go on the Air Force website and find a recruiter that's in like a specific city or a specific area and meet with them. A recruiter can't turn you down. Basically, like, a recruiter is not going to turn you down, because they have a quota, they have an agenda that they have to handle. So definitely do that as well. But I feel like recruiters start slacking off when they feel like you're not dedicated, but then some of them at the same time will just slack off just because they're like, oh yeah, she's in, I got the paperwork for her. But you know, like, recruiters have other recruits as well. So with that being said, you're not the only person that they do have to deal with. They can have 20, 30, 40 people. It depends on the area that you're in. So be mindful of that as well. I feel like if you reach out to your recruiter a numerous amount of times and they like don't reply back to your messages, they don't get back in contact with you within like a timely manner, you need to get a new recruiter. Especially if you notice that like early on, before you've signed anything and before you've gone to MEPS, definitely, if you notice that before you go to MEPS, definitely go get a different recruiter, because there's no point. Like, if you notice that before you go to MEPS and they're like taking their sweet old time, lollygagging and all types of stuff like that, don't waste your time later, because they're going to take even longer when you're waiting for a ship date, especially if you're trying to like be gone ASAP. They're going to be so last minute with you and you're not going to like it. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I've really been chilling. Waiting on a ship date. I know I'm going to post a packing video, my BMT packing video for sure. I don't really know what else to post until I come back from BMT. But if you guys have any other comments or any questions on anything that you might have dealt with, or that you think would be a good question that other people might be wanting to find the answers to, go ahead and leave them down in the comment box below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.